Okay, I'm going to show you how to strip down and service an 8-speed Alfine hub. This hub is 2012 model, it's on a Scott Sub 10. Now if you look on YouTube you'll see various videos and they suggest when you strip it down you actually dunk the gears in automatic transmission fluid and then you assemble it back together. I did that. This hub had about 3,500 miles on it and 1 year's use. I stripped it down for maintenance and re-greased it. What I can say was after 3,500 miles it did not need servicing, but you don't actually know until you actually try it. And when I did that I re-greased the bearings and I dunked the gears in gearbox oil. And the problem with doing that is this seal in here is grease tight but it's not oil tight, and oil will come through this seal, and as that wheel's spinning centrifugal force throws the oil out and it goes over the brake rotor, which means your back brake doesn't work. And I'll illustrate what it's like. So if I just rub this towel on the brake rotor, just look at that. That's oil that's come out from the hub, and centrifugal force throws it over the brake rotor. So what I've got to do, I've got to strip this hub down, clean the oil out of it and re-grease it, put it back together again, and I'll show you how to do that. So the first thing we want to do is take the wheel out. You need to do that we've got to disconnect the gear change mechanism on the hub. We've got this cable, the gear won't come out with the cable attached. So what we need is 2mm Allen key, and sometimes you need a pair of pliers and then a 15mm ring spanner. So the first thing we do is put the bike into first gear. Okay, so it's in first gear, and in here there's a tiny little hole, and put the Allen key in that hole. That rotates it round, brings a big loop of slack in here, and it should come out. Sometimes it'll come out with your fingers, this time it won't, so just use a pair of pliers. Just rotate this a little bit. It's loose. Come on. That's it, that's out. It's just a little bit fiddly, that's all. And then we disconnect the cable at that end. That's the cable loose. And 15mm spanner. There's lock tabs on these, so, and the wheel's out. And then we'll just unhook the chain. That's the wheel out. But the first thing I'm going to do is remove the brake rotor, just get it out of the way so it don't get damaged. It's a centre lock rotor, so just need a standard Shimano cassette removal tool, just goes over and that. That just comes off. And the brake rotor comes out. Whilst I'm on the non-drive side, I'll take this nut out here. So this is 17mm spanner, this lock nut, and that's it. And you can see in here, this is oil which has come through, and this is what's getting out and is fouling the brake rotor. So all I'm going to do is just basically just clean up the hub. In here, probably can't see that well on that angle, is the bearings for the wheel. It's a standard cup and cone type arrangement for the bearings. So to adjust this is the non-drive side. To adjust these bearings, this is the bolt and the lock nut to adjust the plane on your bearings. That's the non-drive side done. Okay, we're on to the drive side. So we just basically start from the outside and work our way in. First thing we need to take off this little arm which holds the gear cable. Top plate here, it simply rotates 45 degrees and comes off. If ever you're riding along and you suddenly find you lose all your gears and it's in first gear only, what's happened is this little tab here has come undone. It's a real simple fix. You just line it up and rotate. But then we take that off, and then the whole gear selector mechanism itself comes off. Put that to one side. And next we've got a little seal, just a screwdriver. And that's that. But this is the actual sprocket pulley, and this is held in with a snap ring. And you sometimes see it called the snap ring from hell. And the way to get this out, there's a little tab in here which allows you to get in with a screwdriver, and it's just a matter of just getting in there and easing this snap ring out. Once you've got it up, you can just work your way round, and there it comes. That's the snap ring out, and the sprocket comes straight off. Just clean this up a bit. Oh, we've got another ring here. We undo that. To get the actual main cover of the ring off, Shimano do a actual special spanner. However, if you haven't got one of these, they're about £10 or so. There's 4 tabs on here, so you can use the old screwdriver and hammer technique, or if you've got strong grip you can just rotate it. It should only be hand tight. The really important thing about this is a left hand thread, so to undo it I turn clockwise, and it's really not that tight, as you can see. Just a couple of turns now. Okay, that's just come undone, and the hub's just dropped down. So if I now undo the vice, it should now all come out. And this is what's causing the problem, because I put oil inside here, and as well I put oil as well as grease, and it should just be grease for this. So I'm just going to clean this all up, and then we'll put it back together again. Right, that's all cleaned out now. So we've got rid of all the oil. So yeah, moral of this story is don't put oil in here, because it leaks out and it'll cover your brake motor. So we'll just grease up the bearings. I'm just using general purpose lithium grease. I know Shimano say use their own grease, but you can use that if you want. We'll just grease these 3 bearing sets around here. Plenty of grease in there. Try not to get it all over myself. That's that done. Just grease in the non-drive side wheel bearings. Just get that in the bearings. Bit more grease in these wheel bearings. Right, assembly is just the reverse of disassembly. So we'll just put this in. So the whole unit drops in. And you need to spin it, and it all drops in straight through like that. And now this is just for ease. Just put this in the vise. We'll just hold it gently on the flats on the axle. Just makes life easier. Gives you a third hand whilst you're assembling it all. Putting it back together is exactly the opposite of how it came apart. I've put everything out on the bench in the order it came apart, so work methodically like that, simple enough. So the outer cover, remember this is a left hand thread, so we turn it anti-clockwise to do it up. It only needs to be finger tight. There's a little tab on this washer, and make sure that tab goes down. This is the drive sprocket. Right, now the split ring from hell. Again, start at one end and get that in and work it round. So the gear selector, if you look here, we've got a little red dot here, little red dot here, and on the selector we've got these two red dots, and we'll just line those up and that goes on. And the locking tab, line that up. This is the little lock-in tab for the gear selector. It will only go on one way. That's that. We rotate 45 degrees. That's that. Finally, just do this up loosely. No, I won't. I won't. Right, do the non-drive side first. So rotate the wheel to the other side. Get this grease right into these bearings. This just needs to be adjusted. That's too tight. So I want the wheel to rotate. It's just a standard cup and cone bearing. You want the wheel to rotate nice and smoothly. No play, no grinding of the bearings. And then we put the lock washer on. It's a little tight, I can hear the bearings grumbling. Let's back that off a little. Right. And the brake rotor. It really is as simple as that.